For good morning to you, Nigeria. Once again, 7 minutes gone past 08 on a Wednesday morning, the first day in the month of July. Happy New Month to you. The second half of the year starts right now. So, whatever it is that you've done the first half of the year, not to worry. I mean, we all are aware what COVID did to everyone, so you're not alone. It's We have another chance to, get on and achieve whatever it is you want to achieve for the rest of the year, okay? It's not over yet. It's not over. It can't. So we can make a great use of the 6 months that we've got left for the year 2020. Welcome to Morning Crossfire. We started as early as 5 a.m. this morning, as usual, with the conversation that we just finished having as regards what's transpired between Festus Keyamo and our lawmakers at the National Assembly yesterday. From 5 a.m. to 6. We brought you the news at 6, just after Tunji, after the newspapers headlines. And at 6:45, Tunji Andres was here for Money, Business, and Economy show. 7 o'clock, the sports guys did their thing on Sports Drive, ably represented by Sarafina Napoleon and Emmanuel Etim. Yes, I'm back in here to continue with the conversation that we started last week. We couldn't finish this conversation last week because it was such a huge conversation, and we didn't have that much time to conclude with this conversation last week on the program. Now, today we're having back on the show via Skype Achike Chude, who joins us via Skype this morning. For some reasons, we can't see Achike Chude on Skype. But Achike, good morning to you.
Good morning, Sherry.
It's good to have you on the show. Let's hope that we can work on the visual so we can see you on the visuals. Well, quickly, we started a conversation last week. Our conversation right now, from where we left off 6 days ago, we were able to establish through the help of our guest that most political parties in Nigeria lack ideologies. Achike made that clear last week. That what they have instead are manifestos. Ironically, manifestos are born out of ideologies, as also rightly alluded to by Achike Chude. So we also realized during the show last week how that lack of clear-cut ideologies in political parties has negatively, in more ways than one, impacted our democracy. How it has affected growing apathy among the electorate. We also spoke about electorates and their own personal ideologies. We spoke about that as well. So today we'll pick up from where we left off as Achike is joining us again. Achike, let's begin by describing once again the features of political ideologies. What features should a good party ideology have?
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Achike.
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, there seems to be some interference with the network, but I think I got the gist of your commentary. Yes, I remember that we left off talking about the different kinds of ideologies.
Right.
I tried to argue that ideology could be positive or could be negative. And that's why I talked about, some of these parochial teams, around which we build our polity has been sometimes antithetical to social progress and welfare. I talked about the fact that ethnicity can be ideological. You could have. I talked about apartheid being ideological. When it happened in South Africa, it was ideological, and all that. So ideologies could be positive and negative. But what we're concerned really about is the composition, the ideological or philosophical composition of political parties in Nigeria. They are the set of values that make them political parties of a particular tendency or proclivity. And so you have, for instance, and we talked about the fact that, and one of the points we try to make, which
Achike, can you hear me, Achike? You know what we're gonna do, yes. Achike? Let's try and get you over the phone line. The network is quite poor this morning. We'll try and call you up at the moment so we can have you over the telephone line, which I hope will be stable and clearer than the Skype. So once we're able to get you in, we can continue with, the ideology and the definition of it, and what ideology of a political party should contain. All right. If you are just joining us, you're welcome. It's a morning crossfire here on Nigeria Info. Now, this conversation. Last week that we had this conversation, it was such an interesting conversation that we couldn't even have enough time to get your thoughts on it, because, we had a lot of grounds to cover, because we wanted to make sure that we explain, we wanted to make sure that we break it down for you to understand that, having an ideology is not just about it's not just about political ideology alone. As an individuals, according to Achike last week, must start first with their own personal ideologies, which are actually born out of their own personal principles, right? But let's have Achike join us via the telephone. Achike, once again, good morning to you, and thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So let me ask that question that I put forward to you once again. I was asking you what features should a good party ideology have? What are those features that you would say that no party or all parties must have these particular features?
Okay. Now, I think that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria actually has provided a pathway for that, and that in itself should be behind the basis of any philosophical, ideological construct of a particular political party. And one, the unity of the country. Though people, as a result of the maladministration and the misgovernance that has been going on in the country, have argued that the future of this country is non-negotiable. And for people are saying it can be negotiated. And that the fact that people are talking about, whether we can move forward is not an indication that some people want the country to break up. So the Constitution sees a situation where the country remains united, that's one. So what it means is that any political party that is operational in this country must embody this thinking by the framers of the Constitution, one united Nigeria. But one united Nigeria is a Nigeria that is supposed to be just.
Okay.
It's supposed to be fair to all sides, to all the groups that make up this country.
Right.
So you now have the Federal Character Commission to take care of that, so that the issue of federal appointments and all that will be based, will ensure that there is fair representation,
right,
or proportionality of representation among the various groups that make up Nigeria. So that in itself is a philosophical construct. Then it talks about the welfare of the people and the security of the people. That itself also, a philosophical construct, because you must have a political party that will imbibe all of these virtues, the virtues that have been provided by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. A political party that has to govern this country must be one that will respect the rule of law, and respect the basic, the fundamental human rights of Nigerians.
Right.
That in itself is a philosophical construct. So I think the Constitution really has made it easier for political parties to operate. Any political party that has to operate in this country must operate within the ambit of the provisions of the Constitution.
Right.
And some of these things, for instance, are, like I said, are philosophical, constructs and tendencies. One, the security of the people is key. The welfare of the people is key. So you now begin to look for ways to achieve this, the security of the people, to achieve the welfare of the people. Now that depends on the kind of program you run, the kind of economic policies that you put in place.
Right.
All of these things are based on your philosophical construct. Talks about, of course, I've talked about the rule of law and so on. So the Constitution, in a way, does not permit any government or any political party to violate the rights of Nigerians.
Is it possible to say that our political space hasn't really evolved to that point that we can say that our parties have different ideologies? You remember last week we talked about the ideologies of this party and that party, and you said that these ideologies are the same, they're all campaigning based on the same things.
Yeah.
So is it safe to say that we have not evolved to that point where we can have political parties with different ideologies and different plans, different stands on some social issues, different
you're
stands on some economic issues?
It is key. It is key because it is on the basis of the different platforms that these parties, put out that people are going to respond to them. But you now have a situation where people respond only on the basis of certain primordial interests. This political party, for instance, that is being represented at the presidential level, is the presidential candidate from my place? Does he speak my language? Is he from my religious tendency and inclination and all that? So you find out that these are the kind of negative vibes and or negative ideological compass that these political parties are imbuing and infusing on their adherents or their followers. So that is negative. But I agree with you that until we get to that point where political parties would actually begin to stand for specificities, especially, you talk about the welfare. How do they look at the welfare of the Nigerian, citizens?
Right.
You talk about social security. You talk about so many other things. Now, but I think of critical importance is we must also remember, maybe, and I'm not trying to provide excuse for the political class. When people talk about the advanced democracies of the world, some of them are about 100 years old. Because we have been given a fait accompli. We have a situation where some of us at least understand the basic tenets of what democracy implies. Government of the people, for the people, and by the people. And so it is not as if our political leaders are not aware of their duties and responsibilities. It is not as if they are not aware that there must be specific, clear-cut ideological tendencies on the basis of which they can now present their manifestos and people will vote for them. But I think that what has happened is that the people who are in charge of the politics of this country,
right,
have also been imbued with a different kinds of philosophical constructs. They have a different kinds of mindset. For instance, leading up to the 2015 election,
right,
you find out that the people who came together, to take power, came together essentially for the purpose of taking political power. What was going to happen after that was a completely different thing. But they were able to sell some things to the people that the people purchased. The issue of security, issue of economy, and the anti-corruption and all of that. Let's
stay with Achike. Let's stay with that thing, those things that is sold to the people, because that's exactly my next question. And this is how I'm going to put it. When they came together, they sold so many things to the people: devolution of power, state police, restructuring. And have you seen any of those things? Now, talking about party ideology, in other climes, these are the things that parties campaign based on. And when they get into power, they work towards achieving these things. Achike, have we seen anything that resembles those things that these party campaigns to us? I mean, we've seen parties that campaigned and, got into power before 2015 based on some certain things. So to me, what is the real question that we should be asking when a party comes forward and campaign to the people based on these, give me this, I will give you devolution of power. Give me this, I will give you local government autonomy. Give me this, I will give you state police. If you vote me in, I will do this. And in the end, we don't get to see all of these things. What are the questions that we should be asking, Achike?
Yeah, but the greatest strength of the political class in this country, especially the dominant political class, is the weakness of the Nigerian people. Because these things are not the failure of the political class is not, a failure all on its own. It's also a failure of the Nigerian people. Because ultimately, like I was trying to say last week, that somebody said that the price we have to pay for democracy is eternal vigilance. But fortunately for the political class, the reason why they have been able to get away with so many things, such as the things you talked about, is the illiteracy of the people, the lack of political awareness and consciousness of the people. Because that is what keeps the average politician on his toes. Unfortunately, we have the absence of, a people that are not exactly aware of what their political rights and duties and responsibilities should be. So when the politicians, and that has to do with the fact that the vast majority of our people, to a large extent, are illiterate.
So, does that mean that illiteracy will rob you of your principles and your own ideology, Achike?
It does. Because I mean, again, but of course, when we are talking about illiteracy, Sheriff, we're not talking about the kind of illiteracy that results from not going to school, to a formal school.
Oh, of course, we're not.
Might not see the four walls of a university, but be much more enlightened than somebody who has gone, or even
very true.
So we are talking about the education, the kind of education that liberates. You get that kind of education within the four walls of a school, formal schooling. You also get it outside on the streets. You understand? So this is what has been going on.
Achike, people know what they want. They know what they want from the government, right? I mean, that's the principle that we're talking about. That's the ideology we're talking about. They want free education. They want their markets to be standard. They want their youths to be employed.
Yes.
Yeah? But why are we not taking this to our parties? Taking these ideologies to our parties?
Yeah, you've made a point. You've made a point. People actually have an idea about how they want to live. They want to live well. They want to be able to drive cars. They want to be able to our young people want to be able to get married as early as possible and settle down and all that. People without jobs want to have jobs. They want their factories back and all that. So
right.
I agree that somehow these things have not been made available. But it goes beyond that again. Why is it that when the politicians come in and then they make all these claims to the people, the same people vote them in, even when they have an idea that these people might not be in a position to do that? And so that's why I'm also saying that somehow the people have not been conscientized enough to also, ask questions about the things that really matter. Do not forget that sometimes when you are campaigning to the Nigerian people, sometimes some of them will tell you, yes, we know all the big English and the rest, but ultimately it translates into money. That all I want now is what I'm going to see. So if you give me money, I'm going to vote for you, because I know that when you get to, when you get there, when you are eventually voted, we are not going to see you anymore. Now, that should not be the disposition of the average Nigerian person. So we also have, it's a two-edged sword. We have, again, the mischief of the political class preying on the ignorance of the people. And then you also have those people that are enlightened to a very large extent, but who lack the power and the ability to make change because they believe that change is impossible. So these are some of the issues. But I think that what has helped that is the fact that within civil society, we have not built effective organizations that could properly enlighten the people and educate the people on their political duties and responsibilities.
So for some reason you have jumped to my next question, Achike, because my next question will be how we can reawaken, because I know that before the advent of this kind of democracies that we have, we actually had agile people that are actually concerned about the welfare of their people in the past, women, men that are fighting for equal right, that are fighting for jobs, that were fighting, for all of these things back in the day. Where did all of those activism go? And that boils down to the reawakening of conscience of our people, the grassroots, the uneducated grassroots people, towards focusing on their own rights as demanded for, as rightly they deserve. Achike, let's go to break. Let's go to break quickly. I'll be back to take you up on that. Please hold the line. We'll be right back, Lagos. This is the Morning Crossfire on Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. Other stations just mumble words. We talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. All important conversation that we're having today. We actually don't have to wait till election period before we start talking about issues like this. About how people can go beyond seeing political parties as just a group of people who are selfish and just all about their personal and self-interest alone. About how political parties, we can begin to redefine what party politics is, and that actually starts with having your own personal ideologies, what you stand for, what you believe in. That will culminate into the kind of party, the kind of people you want to belong with, the kind of gatherings you want to belong to, right? That is exactly what should drive our. And there's nothing wrong with joining politics, by the way. I mean, it's about the love, the love for service. It's about the love for the common good. That's basically what politics is all about. It shouldn't be the way we have defined it here in Nigeria, as it's about self-interest. It's about that kind of definition is so wrong, so lame as well. Welcome back to the Morning Crossfire. We're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube as we speak. I'll be taking comments from YouTube and Facebook in a moment. If you are just joining us, feel free to send me your thoughts on WhatsApp. The WhatsApp number is 0809 597 5805. That is 0809 597 5805. On WhatsApp, all right? Or you can tweet me at Nigeria Info FM on Twitter. That is at Nigeria Info FM on Twitter. I will take your thought. Achike Chude is joining us via the telephone line. Achike was on the show last week when we spoke about this, but when we discussed this particular issue, and he is joining us today as well on the show. Achike, thank you again. Yes, please.
Very, very, very salient question or commentary, and you are talking about the decline in activism and the level of consciousness in the country.
Right.
But I will just talk about two ironies about the whole thing. One is the fact that many military people within the military high command have asserted that the military institution, the military as an institution, suffered most whenever military governments were in place. It's supposed to be an irony. And I will also posit at this time that it would appear that civil society tends to suffer more when civilian governments are in place. And there is a reason for that. Of course, over the years, there has been a decline in the level of consciousness of the average Nigerians. Perhaps I would say that I and some of my colleagues around the time I went to school, to the university, are among the last conscious sets of students in those days. Because I remember a time when certain social contradictions in the country at the political level was enough to inflame the hearts and minds of students, and students took to the streets in protest. All Nigerian students needed to do at that particular point in time was to hear that about 100 billion, 200 billion is missing. And then they were able to make a connect between their present and the future. That if they allow this kind of thing to happen, even under the military dispensation, that they are going to mortgage, their future is going to be mortgaged. So they believed that they had a duty, a responsibility to also play their own part politically.
Right.
That period was also the period of the NBA, taking on a very strong and vibrant NBA, of I think Sophie Kuye, if I remember correctly. That was also the period of Nigerian Medical Association under Beko Ransom Kuti. It was a period when the NLC was a very strong force to contend with in the country. It was also a period of active students, unionism across the country and students' consciousness across the country.
Very true.
But the military came up when they realized the kind of problems they were having, especially within the Ivory Tower. They began a policy, if you remember that famous or infamous statement Babangida made, that there are lecturers who are teaching what they are not paid to teach.
Right.
And that there was a need to get those lecturers out of the way. So the military government dictatorship then began a systemic, program of uprooting radical lecturers whose disposition of whose teachings were not in tandem with the workings of a neo-colonial Nigerian state.
Right.
And so over time, they weeded them out of the university. If you remember, Patrick Wilmot was picked up, and then the following day he was flown back to Jamaica, where he came from, and all that. So this decline that was where the decline started. And we had some of these voices in the media houses, in the NLC, and all that.
Right.
All of these things have disappeared. Then when you also inflict a populace with the mass poverty that we're seeing today, it also tends to erode from their level of consciousness to a very large extent, because everybody is fixated with the idea of survival, of the fittest and the rest. So ideals get thrown to the dustbin. And I think that to a very large extent, this is what we have been seeing. The politicians now came in for the past 20 years and started working on civil society. Some of them were favorably disposed to civil society.
Right.
They incorporated some of them
Right.
into their fold. Journalists also benefited from the largesse of the politicians. So what does that mean? What am I saying, Sharif?
Yes.
You see a society that is in complete decline in virtually every sector of the political economy of this country. And so that has affected, the ability of the people to respond positively to issues that are surrounding them, by the day. And then the deep division, and it is key, the very, negative ideological compass being played by the political class has been very divisive in the country. Remember that there was a time when, during the Abiola presidency, and then the Abiola the Tofa run for the presidency of this country,
Right.
when the Christian Association of Nigeria came and said, we endorse, we don't mind that you have a Muslim
Yes.
state.
Yes.
It is all for the good of the country.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So they were able to look beyond the prison, of religious proclivities. You understand? Now,
Are we saying? I mean, Achike Chude, you struck a chord with everything. In fact, you struck many chords with everything you have said so far. Because right now, I'm looking back to everything you have said. I'm looking back at them, and I'm feeling really overwhelmed as to how social activism was back in the day. It was political, it was social, it was all for the common good.
Yeah.
And there was a concerted and deliberate effort of the government of the day at the time and successive governments to infiltrate the media, the civil society, the grassroots. And right now, it's as though people have gone to sleep. No, it's as though there is no ideology again, as you have said. It's as though it's now the ideology for survival that everybody is focused on. My question, Achike, is how do we start the process of social engineering to instill back into the people that there are some certain standards that they should expect from their government? There are some certain things when it comes to welfare, social, economic, anything at all. There are some standards, because right now it seems as though nobody even cares. Maybe they don't know, as you have said earlier on when I was saying, how can you say they don't know when they know, how to. Maybe they don't even know what to ask for. How do we begin the process of this social re-engineering?
Okay, let me good question, but let me put it this way.
Yeah.
And I think at the base, even of the question you ask, is the realization or the lack of realization and awareness by the people that they make up governments, that they are governments, and that the people who are presidents and governors and ministers and so on are servants of the people. So that awareness is not there in the first place, and it is key that the people are aware that they are supposed to be kings and those who govern them are supposed to be their servants. But we have, the whole thing is inverted. Because the people now believe, for instance, when you're talking to the average Nigerian, even on the streets, we have been involved in all kinds of protests. And sometimes you hear people telling you that look, the one thing we could do, they big pass us. And that is a normal refrain among a lot of people. So there is this surrender by the Nigerian people when it comes to viewing their government. They believe that the government is more powerful than they are. But it is not possible because the people who govern us today are perhaps maybe 10,000 or so. How can 10,000 people be stronger than 180 million people? And these 10,000 people are very much aware of the power and the potency of the Nigerian people if they are awakened.
Right.
So they make sure, and that is the key thing, they make sure that the people do not have the right kind of education, the right kind of awareness and consciousness to be able to ask questions about them. Why are we in this situation?
So this is what I said earlier. I mean,
Yes.
do we need education? Do we need formal education to know that you need a government that can say that, okay, I will give you free health, I will give you free education, I will give you this, I will give you that. These are what ideologies are based on. Do you need formal education to want to demand for all of these things?
No, you need social consciousness. You can call it a form of education. You need political awareness and consciousness. And again, the politicians are not going to do that because, the beautiful thing about political parties really is that in terms of their formation and their setup and everything, is the fact that it is the duty of the political parties to educate their electorate about their programs of action, about their ideals, about their set of values, about what they intend to do, their programs of action and how they are going to do all of those things so that people can run with it. And on the basis of that, they can begin to canvas for them. But they do not do that because the Nigerian politician does not find himself beholden on the Nigerian people. He is dominant. The people, he is up there, the people are down there. And that is what he knows. And so he also uses another instrument to ensure that they will continue to govern the way they like. And that is division. You understand? So they now come up with all kinds of negative ideological fixation. The issue of tribe, the issue of religion, the issue, because they know that once the people can be brought together, once the people are conscious and aware enough, the people will begin to ask questions that will make them uncomfortable. So the issue is divided. You understand? If you look at, for instance, in the 2023 election that is coming up, it is all about where the president is going to come from. It is not about the president that is going to run this country in line even with the tandem of the provisions of the Constitution.
Right.
The principle of the federal character and all of that.
Right.
So with civil society now has a duty, but it is an onerous duty. It is not an easy responsibility because so many things have gone down the drain. So many things have gone wrong in the country. So where are you going to start? When even members of the civil society have found themselves in cahoots with those people who are oppressing the people. When so many of them are also in bed with those who are oppressing the people. When the media houses themselves also, lot of them, not all of them, have been compromised. And where you have journalists who should stand up to the ideals of the profession as has been provided by the Nigerian Constitution, the fourth estate of the realm. You find out that even the media is no longer the fourth estate of the realm. They have become appendages of the political class. So all of these things coupled together, have strengthened the ruling class against the interests of Nigerians. And so when you have that, you have a country in chaos, a country in crisis, insecurity, poverty everywhere, and all of that. So where is the hope going to
how do we retrace our steps, Achike? How do we go back? How?
First of all, I think this way. I wish we had a responsible political class. I wish we had a responsible political class. Last week, unfortunately, regretfully, I had to repeat a quote from Kalmeya, who argued that Nigeria is a criminally run corporation where the leaders are armed and are hidden in the vault. When you look at the fact that Nigeria is one of the most blessed countries in the world, and yet it has become the poverty capital of the world, you realize that perhaps Kalmeya's words are true. So what do we do? If we had a critical and responsible, patriotic and nationalistic political class, what they should be asking, because there's something called elite bargaining, where members of the political class will sit down and say, look, we cannot continue along this trajectory because what we envisage, what we see ahead of us is chaos and anarchy. We need to do a rethink. We need to begin to retrace our steps. But unfortunately, you don't have a class that is as responsible as that. So what do you now do? You have to look, the people, there has to be a reawakening among the people, the Nigerian people. Because they are the greatest beneficiaries of a government that is working. They are also the biggest victims of a failed state. So I think we need to go back to the people more forcefully. We need to appeal to the people. We have been telling them, for instance, about this issue of collecting money and then voting for the people who have paid them, and we tell them, look, ultimately you are going to lose more.
Yeah.
If they are going to give you 5,000 in an election cycle, in the next 4 years, by the time they are through with you, they will collect indirectly 100,000 from you. You might not be aware, but that is what is going to happen. So we need to begin to change the mindset. But you see, my fear, Sheriff, is this: somebody has argued that a man is loyal to the person who puts bread on his table. So when the politicians who have stolen you blind come to you, and you are aware that these people are not there for your own welfare, and they still offer you another 5,000, you look at your immediate needs, and you say, look, with this I can feed my family for the next 2 days. Why not collect it? You understand, Carol? There's nothing I can do about it, and that is the mindset that we have to reject. That there's nothing we can do about it. We can do something about the mindset about this country.
Everything.
If the people, if we can first of all unite. I think the issue is to unite the Nigerian people first of all. To realize that there is no difference between the Calabar man, the Igbo man, the Ijaw man, the Hausa man, the Fulani man, the Yoruba man, and all of that. To realize that, look, it is the same economic difficulties that everybody faces, from Nigeria, from Lagos to Kafanchan to Katsina to Onitsha. It is the same thing. So this hunger itself, and that is what Bob Marley was talking about in one of his songs, a hungry man is an angry man. It is only in Nigeria that we have defied that logic of a hungry man being an angry man. A hungry man in Nigeria is a man that is ready to make compromises, and that should not be the case. So we need to unify Nigerians. That look, that there are two sets of people in this country. The group of oppressors and those who are oppressed. And that the oppressors must come together to begin to ask questions and demand. And look, the oppressors are across every nook and cranny of this country. They are in the southeast, they are in the southwest, in the northeast, in the northwest, south, everywhere. You understand? You have people with the wrong ideological compass who are sitting, riding roughshod over the people of this country. So our duty, our responsibility, and I think that is even the essence of this program that we're on, and the essence of this topic that you have chosen today, is to tell people that, look, ultimately, by the time you go to the market to ask for the price of fish, it is at the same price that they are going to sell to the Southwesterner or the Yoruba person that they will sell to the Igbo person, and all of that.
Very true.
So what does that tell you?
Very true.
That we should be united by our common cause, the cause of suffering, and the expectation that we have, of a country, or the desire that we have of a country that we want to work. These are unifying factors. So we must continue to emphasize on it, that we are all one, that we are all united, and that we can make this country a beautiful place. Because
Achike,
God made this country beautiful. Thank
you so much, Achike. I have to let you go now. Thank you for joining the show this morning.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. Achike Chude joining us over the telephone. Let's take a few thoughts, a few reactions to the conversation this morning. It's 8:46. We're playing just a minute. This morning the show we couldn't play on Monday and Tuesday. Apologies for that, because we had some really serious conversations on Monday and Tuesday. Well, even this one is quite serious. I mean, look at the time. We've not even taken one call at 8:46. So we're going to take a few calls right now to get your thoughts in on this conversation of party ideologies and even personal ideologies. 0700 993 993 993. I will take Chukwudi's WhatsApp message before I come and take your call. I can see that we're working on a call already. So let me just see if I can rush through Chukwudi's message, which is quite long. Chukwudi says, political ideology is a term fraught with problems, having been called the most elusive concept in the world of social science. Political ideologies have two dimensions, goals and methods. Political parties are usually the symbolic carriers of an ideological flame. Parties in Nigeria do not have clear-cut ideological orientation, and the people themselves do not know what the parties stand for. For our democracy to be deepened, there is need for the parties to be ideologically driven in Nigeria, so that when a party has a set of objectives that it pursues, the members are not perturbed and do not run from one party to the other. Chukwudi, well put together. Well, and clearly put together. Let's speak with Olumiwa. Olumiwa, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Sherry.
It's good to have you.
First and foremost, I want to beg you. Me, I don't need 10,000, no. But make you today ask questions based on even your own program, just like Sandra is doing, so that people can even shop money from your own program. I hope I make sense.
Yeah, people are winning on my show as well.
Because sometimes, Your own question is
Olumiwa, we
what
don't
is
have
the
time.
name
Oh,
of the
let's
China?
go to the conversation right now.
Okay, don't let me even say more than that.
Let me speak with Mark. Mark is in VI. Hi, Mark. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Sherry.
Good morning.
Yeah, what Chike really has spoke this morning is an interesting one, and I wish all Nigerians are listening now. At the same time, we want to also take what he has said so far to 2023 and see if we can be able to make the needed change. I also want to talk about his agitation concerning the radical lecturers that has been evicted from universities. It has affected the country over the years because we don't have people who are speaking out again. Anybody who is willing to come out and speak out now, before you know it, the modern politicians, we just buy the person into their government by an appointment.
Why is it easy to be bought these days? I mean, what happens to personal convictions, personal principles? Why are... I mean, I'm just wondering about...
It is as a result of our community. You know, the community, in local communities where we come from, they rate successful as person who has money, not person who has an integrity anymore. So if you look at what people will say from the community where you're coming from, you begin to want to make money like every other politician or someone other person who has made money from illegal means from your community.
Right.
Like, if you are permitted to mention them, there's a guy that's supposed to mention his name. He used to work with the AIT. Recently, he's working with the PDP governor in the Delta State. So this guy, when he was working with AIT as a political platform there, if I can mention his name, if you permit me to say
no, it's okay. Don't mention Mark. But thanks for calling. We need to quickly wrap up. Chuku, hi. Good morning to you.
Sheriff, good morning.
Good morning to you.
I'm the one that called yesterday from Ogun State, and you promised that you are going to play the 1 minute game.
Chuku,
today, I was the one.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I'm ready. Yes,
no. What I told you was that you cannot call and demand that you want to play the game. You have to play it when I say that it's time to play it. Do you understand? Because it's not fair to other people who are waiting for me to say that let's play. Then you will now call and say, I want to play. And I will now say, okay, let's play. No, it's not fair. It's not really fair at all, okay? But we will play. We will play just a minute. No doubt about it, we will play. Let's speak with Ola very quickly. Ola is in Ogun State. Hi, Ola, good morning to you.
Yeah, Mr. Sheriff, good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
Mr. Sheriff, I quickly want to contribute to your guest that came this morning.
Yes, please.
Yeah, you see, what the issue we are having with the Nigerian government, I think they don't really know how to direct the people. I don't know. They don't know how to do this. They don't know. You see, it's not about you. We youth. Yeah, we know. We really understand what we are asking for. And we know what we want. You know. In fact, at the time, I feel like maybe organizing some guys in my area that you guys should stop. Let's just stop collecting money from these people. Let's get ourselves together. Let's know our rights. Let's know what we want. The Nigerian government are not ready to do anything. We need to force them to do it. That's what we need to do. That's what I have to contribute. Thank you.
Thank you, Ola, for calling. Appreciate it. Very quickly now, we'll take another call. Then we will play just a minute. Hello, good morning to you. Good morning. I can't hear you. Let's see who we have here. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Chief Quadry, good morning,
sir. Good morning to you.
Thank you very much. My ambassador, good morning, sir.
He has left. Don't worry. Just go on with your thought.
Thank you. Good thing. I didn't hear him say we must support one political party. Did he say that? I didn't hear him say that.
Okay.
Rather, I say we should speak one voice, right?
Right.
So why are people always attack me when I support whatever party I support? Why? And you always tell us everybody with their own opinion. So Chief Quadry, please. I'm the one that always talk about gas flaring in my community. If the president is laying a pipe, a good one. That is his job. So please help me beg them to leave me alone. It's not by force to support APC, please.
So,
Thank you.
Chris, I don't understand what you're talking about really, because it's got nothing to do with what we are talking about this morning. I'm guessing that you called the wrong station. I mean, that's my best guess. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Is that Nigeria Info?
Yes, you're live on Nigeria Info. What's your name, please?
My name is Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, you need to speak out because we can't hear you.
Calling from Lekki. Emmanuel is my name.
Okay, Emmanuel, quickly in a minute.
Okay. I was thinking about 1 minute, sir.
Oh, no, no, no. We're not playing now. I was going to take one last call because Chris didn't talk about what we're talking about. So I have to, take one last call before we can play just a minute. All right? Hello, good morning to you. Yes, please.
Good morning. This is Pastor Ladipo.
All right, Pastor Ladipo. All right.
You see, what we are talking about this morning about ideology.
Right.
Ideas cannot flow where poverty has been weaponized. See, let me tell you, if you're in a family meeting and you don't have money,
okay,
and you raise your hand and said, I have idea, they will ask you to sit down. If you look at this situation, the situation of Nigeria today, the politicians have successfully weaponized poverty. Imagine, let me tell you, Quadry, do you know to be a councillor in your ward, do you know how much it costs to pick a form?
I don't want to imagine.
So let's go back, and you will now understand why it will be difficult for ideas to flow. It will be very difficult. Now, if you look at what Festus Keyamo and the legislators are fighting for, go to those legislators' constituency offices or their houses. You will see a lot of jobless people sleeping. They too, they are facing pressure. Just like Festus Keyamo is facing pressure to also impress some people politically.
Yeah.
So you should understand that if we are going to get it right, our politics must reduce the incentive in our politics. Let's say everybody that is going into the government is going to serve, just like in the other part of the same client.
Right.
That you don't see government as sort of making money. Have you seen any of our politicians doing another job? Show me their business address. They don't have. May God bless Nigeria.
Thank you, Ladipo, for calling. I appreciate it. Okay. It's such an interesting conversation. We'll be right back. Stay here on Nigeria Info.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. .3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
It's entertaining, exciting, and puts money in your pocket. It's Just a Minute, a game show brought to you by 99.3 Nigeria Info. Call in to any of our shows, The Morning Crossfire, What's Up Lagos, The Sunny Side, and The Hat Facts, and answer as many questions as possible in just 60 seconds. And we'll be giving out 10,000 naira every day. Winners will be announced on Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. Just a minute. The game show for everyone. Right here on your number one station for talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's play. Let's win. Let's talk.
Lagos, good morning to you. Let's play just a minute. 0700 993 993 993. That is the telephone line to call on just a minute this morning. Now, when you call, I'll ask of your details, your name, and the last 4 digits of your number. When you drop that, then we can play just a minute, all right? If you're ready, I am good to go. We have less than a minute to go. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, what's your name?
I'm Godwin.
Godwin what?
Godwin Abraham.
Godwin Abraham.
Yes, sir.
Where are you calling me from, Godwin?
I'm calling from Aja.
Okay. Godwin, give me the last 4 digits of your number, quickly.
Okay. My last 4 digits is 1886.
1886. And
Yes.
the first 4 digits is what?
070.
070. No way. 070 what?
1678.
070 what?
16.
0701. Okay. It's okay. Now let's play just a minute. Are you ready, Godwin?
Yes, I'm ready.
This is Just a Minute.
Can you imagine that? And we lost this call. Let's try another caller. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, what's your
Good
name?
morning. Hello?
What's your name?
This is David.
David what?
David Egbebumi.
David Egbebumi. This name must be the name that will reflect in your bank account, all right?
All right.
Okay. Egbebumi. Okay, that's right. Give me the last 4 digits of your number.
Wait, last 4 digits. 079. I'm coming. 0808. Okay, 0271.
0271. Are you ready to play, David?
Yeah.
Okay, let's play.
This is Just a Minute.
What is the full meaning of FAN? FAAN.
Pass, please.
Okay. What is the name of the governor of Oyo State?
Governor Makinde.
Full name.
Makinde.
I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
Who is the deputy governor of Lagos State?
Baba Femi Hamzat.
I'll give it to you. Obafemi Hamzat.
Obafemi Hamzat.
INEC recently lifted conditions for campaigns for which 2 states in Nigeria?
Can we pass?
Okay. Moving on to the next question right now. How many LGAs do we have in Nigeria?
Please pass.
Okay. What is the name of the Minister of State for Labor?
State for Labor. Festus Keyamo.
I'll give it to you, David. So, David, your time is up, and you got 3 questions correctly. So you have to listen to the rest of the shows to be able to ascertain whether you stand a chance to win 10,000 naira today or not. In the meantime, while you wait, please send your account details to our WhatsApp number. Do you have our WhatsApp number?
No.
Okay. I'll give it to you right now. 0809.
Okay.
597.
0809 597.
5805.
5805.
Yeah.
0809.
Yeah.
597.
Yeah.
5805.
That's right.
All right.
That is our WhatsApp number. Send me your account details, okay?
Now, yes.
All right. With this number that you played with, all right?
Okay.
Fantastic, David. Congratulations to you in advance in case we don't get any other person that will win the 10,000 naira for today. 3 questions correctly. Let's go in now for the news.
99.3
99.3
Nigeria Info. Let's talk. The headline news on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
4 corpses and 3 skulls have been found at home of a kidnapping suspect in Rivers State. 561 new cases of COVID-19 were recorded in Nigeria on Tuesday. INEC has released the provisional list of candidates for the September 19 governorship election in Edo State. It contains 14 candidates. Power distribution companies will start charging an increased new tariff in the first quarter of 2021. The IMF is projecting that Nigeria and other oil-producing countries in Africa could lose $34 billion due to COVID-19. In sports, the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations has been moved to 2022. This year's Women's Cup of Nations has been cancelled, and the CAF Awards has also been cancelled. And Lionel Messi has scored his 700th career goal. Well, these are the stories that we're tracking for you here on Nigeria Info 99.3. I'm Sheriff Quadry. What's up, Lagos? Is next. Good morning to you.
Hello, my name is Ronke from Ikorodu.
Hi, I'm Emeka from Festa. My name is Ahmed from Apapa.
I want to tell you about my radio. My radio is my best friend.
My steady companion.
My radio keeps me informed
all day long with hot topics, trending news,
politics, and current affairs.
My radio gives me the best music.
My radio is Nigeria Info.
Everybody in Nigeria listens to Nigeria Info.
Hello, I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and you come to me for hard facts.
Good afternoon, I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts.
The news comes at you fast.
America's Food and Drug Administration have said that Trump was incorrect.
There's information and misinformation.
Their own NAFDAC came out and told Donald Trump, "We're gonna be waiting me where you talk. Now you talk and with by yourself. We tell you it's okay."
And making sense of it can be hard.
Kayode, I will let you talk. Kayode, I will let you talk if you let me talk. Kayode.
But that's my job. Let's talk context. Let's talk statistics.
Talk about those bills at the Senate right now.
Let's talk to the experts and the newsmakers.
I see the kind of stability that would allow growth to happen by this time next year.
Every weekday at 3.
Good afternoon. I am Sandra Ezekwesili.
Let's talk hard facts.
Lagos, such a busy place. But here's how I managed to stay in touch with the latest changes, trends, news, economics, and even entertainment.
99.3 Nigeria Info.